Do you have a plan for your success? Do you have a plan for how you're going to achieve your goals? If not, why? When we make excuses, we give ourselves permission to fail. Hey, welcome back. Jeff Heggie, Daily Success Strategies. Thanks for being with me today. Today I want to talk a little bit more about a book I spoke about a few episodes ago. I talked about Kenny Anderson's book, Common Denominators for Success. For those of you who are watching on video, this is the book here. I'm putting the link in the show notes. It's a great book. I strongly suggest getting it. I was actually just on the last couple pages of the book today, finishing it up, and my phone rings. I answer the phone and it is actually Kenny Anderson on the line. We had a great talk. And I told him I was just wrapping up his book, that it was a great book and that I've learned a lot from it. And so again, go get it. It's a great book. The link will be in my show notes. But what I want to talk about today is one of the principles he talks in there, because it ties into so many of the things we talk about on this podcast. And it's a principle that he calls the WBDA Principle. Want it, believe it, do it, achieve it. And he says the WBDA principle is the key to following through on all your goals. So let's start with it. Want it. What is it you want? What are the goals that you set? What is it that you want most in life? Are you starting with the end in mind? You know, all the things we've talked about in previous episodes, do you have those clearly defined, written out goals? So one of the things that Kenny says in this part of the book, he says, oftentimes we settle or become complacent in what we want because we lose hope, thinking that what we really want is not within our grasp, or that it would be too painful to obtain. Quit selling yourself short and start living again. Put the past in perspective, learn from it, visualize the future ahead and prepare for it, and focus on the present and live in it. So we need to understand what we want. One of the things I talked about in other episodes and in different training I do is in the book, The Strangest Secret from Earl Nightingale. He talks about putting a ship out in the harbor. If a ship doesn't have a captain, doesn't have a rudder, doesn't have a destination set, where's it going to go? It doesn't know where it's going. It's going to end up a wreck somewhere. But if you put a ship out in the harbor with a captain, with all the tools that it needs, with a destination set, 99 times out of 100, it's going to get there. You've got to begin with the end in mind. You've got to know what it is that you want, and you've got to be very clear on it. So get clear on what your goals are. And again, if you don't have this figured out, go to jeffhaggie.com/goals. Now the next part is believe it. After we figure out what we want, we must believe that we can achieve the things that we want. And Kenny says, believing means being able to visualize yourself, realizing your dreams, and accomplishing your greatest desires by taking action to achieve them. And believing is a critical part of what we want. We can set all the goals in the world, and it doesn't matter how big or how small they are. If we don't believe we can achieve them, we're never going to do it. And this is where understanding your why is going to come into effect. You've got to understand your why for each of these goals, because times are going to be tough. Times are going to be hard that you don't have the desire to really push through. You need to know what your purpose is. You need to know what your why is. And so when you go through my goal setting program, you'll go through a process called 7 Levels Deep that I learned from Dean Graziosi. And that'll help you to really figure out what your why is. If you do it properly, it's an incredibly powerful tool. So I strongly suggest you go get it. The next part is do it. Belief without action equals failure. You know, we can make all the plans, we can do whatever you want, but if you don't do it, if you don't take action, you're obviously not going to achieve anything. Belief with action, that's going to equal results. And success requires more than just hard work. You've got to have a realistic plan that you can take into action and then follow through on that. Understand your why so that when things get tough, you're going to still follow through on it. And then the last part, achieve it. The ultimate reward of wanting, believing, and doing is finally achieving those things, right? So plan it out, dedicate yourself to the plan, get a coach or a mentor that's going to help hold you accountable and take action. You've got to do all these things. This is a great principle that Kenny's put together because you've got to know what it is you want. You've got to start with the end in mind. You've got to believe that you can do it. That's a key factor in this all. You've got to go out and take action. You've got to do the things that you're planning. and then you get there and you're going to achieve these things. You know, what I had mentioned was getting a coach or a mentor. One of the things we do on Mondays is talk about accountability. One of the biggest factors to achieving your goals is having a coach or a mentor that's not a close friend or a family member that will hold you accountable, because that's going to make sure that you're doing the things you need to, so that every day you're getting closer and closer to that bigger goal. So make sure that you're doing that. So again, I strongly suggest getting the book. I love it. It's Common Denominators for Success. Thank you to my son Daxon for suggesting it to me. And thank you for Kenny for giving me a call. We're going to connect again in a couple months and going to have him on the podcast. But looking forward to that. There's some great stuff in it. Make sure to get the book. But for those of you that really want to push forward, you know, I want to read one of the things he said again. It was what I read under Want It. Oftentimes we settle or become complacent in what we want because we lose hope, thinking that what we really want is not within our grasp, or that it would be too painful to obtain. Quit selling yourself short and start living again. Have you settled? Have you had big dreams that you've given up on, that you thought you never could achieve? You've got to start believing it again. You need someone to help you get there. I would love to do that. I just actually last night opened up some more spots in my Best Year Ever coaching program. If you want to get in on a fantastic deal, jump on that right now. Go to jeffheggie.com/bestyearever. I am going to take a few more clients on that, and I would love to talk to you about that. But get serious about it. You know, we're already, 3 weeks into 2022. Are you still on track? Have you got off track, or what do you need to do to make sure you're still going to have a great year? Everyone gets excited at the first of the year, but are you still on track to make sure you're doing that? Jump in this program with me, jeffheggie.com/bestyearever. I'd love to work with you. Thanks for being with me. I'll be back tomorrow. Hey, athletes and parents of athletes. So much time, money, and effort is put into the physical aspect of your sport to become the best you can be. But the mental game, it's often neglected, and it's just as important as the physical game. In fact, it's usually the differentiator between the good and the great athletes. Come and join me in the Confident Athlete program, where you'll learn to control your confidence, develop a powerful mindset, and unlock your full potential. Go to jeffheggie.com/confidentathlete to find out more. I look forward to seeing you there. Hey, some of you may know this, but in addition to my coaching, I've recently joined Geneva Financial Home Loans, a mortgage lender headquartered in Chandler, Arizona, as a mortgage loan originator. I've always had a passion for serving others, and now I'm proud to also be a part of Home Loans Powered by Humans. If you're in the state of Arizona and looking to take the next step in your journey, contact me at 801-830-3858 to start the conversation. NMLS number 42056, BK number 0910215, Equal Opportunity Lender.